Yesterday, I posted on the community tab for you guys to give me some questions for an up-and-coming game of NHL Start, Bench, or Cut. For those of you unfamiliar with the game, you are basically given 3 players, it's a one-game scenario, and you choose who you would start, who you would bench, and who you would cut for that game. It's pretty simple. And you guys killed it with the questions. There was a ton of very good ones, but obviously I couldn't feature every single one in the video. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to smash that like button and let me know you enjoyed the video down in the comment section below. And as always, if you guys are new and you want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Beginning with a question from Carter Matthews, who says Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, or Brad Marchand. All 3 superstars in the National Hockey League and all coming from Nova Scotia. But this one was relatively easy for me. I would start Nathan MacKinnon. Obviously this is based off of right now, and in my opinion Nathan MacKinnon is like the second best player in the entire league, and obviously after starting him I would definitely bench Sidney Crosby, and that would leave me with cutting Brad Marchand. Obviously all 3 of these guys are unbelievable players, but in this one game scenario that is what I would go with. Next up from Will Higgins, we have an American themed one of Patrick Kane, Austin Matthews, and Jack Eichel, and I definitely thought long and hard about this one, but to start it off, I'm going to give the start to Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've said it on the channel in previous videos, I do prefer him slightly over Jack Eichel right now, and definitely things could change, and it is still very close. Eichel is an amazing player, both of these guys had a fantastic season, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Matthews. And then on the bench, I'm going to put Jack Eichel, which would leave me cutting Patrick Kane. He is still an amazing player, a Hall of Famer guaranteed, and is one of, if not the greatest American players to ever play the game. But I think at this point, I would definitely take Eichel and Matthews over Patrick Kane, even if it is just a one-game situation. So that is my order for this one. The next question comes from David Schenker, who says Ryan O'Reilly, Patrice Bergeron, and Mark Stone. I really like this one. These are 3 of the best two-way forwards in the entire National Hockey League right now, and honestly this was one of the tougher ones of the entire video. You have Ryan O'Reilly coming off of a Stanley Cup. He won the Conn Smythe for Playoffs MVP and won the Selke Trophy last season as the league's best defensive forward. You have Mark Stone, who is definitely a superstar caliber player in the NHL right now with the Golden Knights, and of course you have Patrice Bergeron, who has been one of the very best centermen in the entire NHL over the past decade. Like I said, this one was very difficult, but I'm going to go ahead and get it started with starting Mark Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights, and this might actually be a little bit of a controversial pick here, but remember this is just opinion based, and I'm a massive fan of Mark Stone. I think people are foolish when they don't bring up his name when talking about the very best wingers in the league. 63 points this year in 65 games for the Golden Knights. He played amazing, and is my choice to start out of these 3 players. On the bench, I'm actually going to go with Patrice Bergeron. It was a very, very close call. I almost actually started him, and I almost cut him too. That's how close this one was. And obviously that leaves me with cutting Ryan O'Reilly, which sounds crazy to say because, like I mentioned earlier, he is coming off of a Stanley Cup in which he won the Conn Smythe and a year in which he won the Selke Trophy. But when you're playing a game like this and you have 3 amazing players like these guys, somebody has to get snubbed. Next up from Waffles The Wookie, we have a Finnish-themed one between Sebastian Aho, Alexander Barkov, and Patrik Laine. And out of all the ones in the video, I feel like this one was probably one of the easiest. Definitely going to start Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers, one of the best centers in the entire National Hockey League. His ability to take over the game in both the offensive end and the defensive end is super impressive. And then for who I'm putting on the bench, another pretty easy decision. It's Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes. Like Barkov, kind of plays on a team that doesn't get a lot of recognition, and I feel like that kind of makes him a little bit underrated. Aho had an amazing year and has consistently gotten better every single season in the NHL. And then of course I am left with cutting Patrik Laine, an amazing player still, a lethal goal scorer, and when he's on he is very difficult to stop. A great bounce back year for him, but I definitely feel like Aho and Alexander Barkov are a level above Patrik Laine. Moving on now to a question from Carlos, a tough guy themed one, Tom Wilson, Ryan Reaves, and Kyle Clifford. I feel like there is definitely only one right answer for this. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, you have to start Tom Wilson. He is easily the best hockey player out of these 3 guys. Ryan Reaves is probably like the toughest guy and the biggest enforcer to these players, but the question is, who would you want to start for a game? And I would have the best players on the ice, so I definitely got to give it to Wilson. And then for the other 2, I guess I'm going to bench Ryan Reaves and cut Kyle Clifford, but it could go either way. The next question comes from Alexander Wiest. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, but the question is Claude Giroux, John Tavares, and Tavares Seguin. This was a really good one. All three centers that I think are kind of teetering in that same category as stars, but not necessarily superstars. But to begin, I'm going to start John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I feel like of these three guys, he's the biggest game changer, and that's kind of why I gave him the edge. And then to bench, I would give it to Claude Giroux. Yeah, his point totals are down from prior seasons. He's still a very, very good player, and he impacts the game more than just points. And of course, that would leave me with cutting Tavares Seguin of the Dallas Stars, who didn't really have an amazing season individually. Dallas as a team, however, was very good after their slow start to the season, and I'm sure he would take that team success over individual success any day of the week. Moving on to the next question from High Flying 15, Kevin Fiala, Andre Burakovsky, and Tyler Bertuzzi, all players that had a really good breakout season, but of the three, I would definitely start Kevin Fiala of the Minnesota Wild. I feel like he has that it factor to his offensive game that Bertuzzi and Burakovsky don't. He led the Minnesota Wild in scoring this year after a slow start, and they were a good team as well, so a really impressive year from him. On the bench, I would definitely give it to Tyler Bertuzzi of the Red Wings. He was an all-star this year, put up solid offensive numbers, and when it comes to Bertuzzi, he definitely brings a lot more to the game than just the points in the offense. He's a gritty guy, someone you'd obviously love to have on your team but hate to play against. And then, of course, I'm left with cutting Andre Burakovsky of the Avalanche, but I will give him credit. A great season, the best of his career so far, with a career-high 45 points in just 58 games. I think he probably has a higher ceiling than Tyler Bertuzzi, but right now, in a one-game scenario, I'm taking Bertuzzi over him and taking Fiala over both of them. From Phase Flexer, we have Mika Zibanejad, Jake Ensel, and William Nylander, and this one was pretty tough, aside from picking who I'm going to start. Definitely have to give that to Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers, who really blossomed into a superstar this season, led the entire league in goals per game. I definitely did not expect that from him heading into the year. Then on the bench, I gave the spot to William Nylander of the Maple Leafs, but this was extremely close. They both play with very, very talented centermen. Gensel, a 40 goal scorer last year, was on a very good pace this season as well. But for me, I feel like William Nylander would probably do a better job at carrying his own line. I really like Nylander's development in his 200-foot game as well, so that's kind of why I gave him the edge over Jake Ensel. But like I said, this one was extremely close. Alright, I found this one hilarious. Loui Eriksson, Milan Lucic, and Frans Nielsen, kind of a battle of awful contracts. And I guess if I had to pick one of these guys to start, I think I would actually go with Milan Lucic. At least he still brings a physical aspect to the game and can protect the star players. Frans Nielsen had an abysmal year, but I'm going to go with him for the bench. I still think he has a lot more to give at the NHL level than Loui Eriksson, and would probably benefit from playing on a team that wasn't god-awful like the Red Wings. So that is kind of my order for this very obscure one, but as soon as I saw it in the comment section, I knew I had to feature it in the video, and let me know down in the comment section below what your order for this one would look like. Okay, the one from the thumbnail. Igor Shesterkin, Ilya Samsonov, and Carter Hart, three of the best young and up-and-coming goaltenders in the entire National Hockey League, and the starting spot for me goes to Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers. He has more experience at the NHL level than both Shesterkin and Samsonov. Had a really good year, was such a massive reason why the Philadelphia Flyers took that next step and became a very good team this season. And then on the bench, I'm going to give it to Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. A small sample size, but man, was he lights out for the Rangers this year, and looks like he's going to be a franchise goaltender for them. Pretty crazy that they're going from having Henrik Lundqvist for so many years, one of the best goalies in NHL history, to now Igor Shesterkin. They have been pretty lucky in the net. And then obviously that leaves me cutting Ilya Samsonov, but all these guys have a very, very bright future in the NHL, and whatever your guys' order for this one looks like, you can't go wrong with any of these guys. And finally, you had to do it to me, Ryan. Rasmus Dahlin, Cale, Makar, or Quinn Hughes also says, love your videos and hope you're being safe. Thank you for the support, and I hope you're being safe as well. I'm doing the best I can. But man, is this one ever difficult, and no matter what order I pick, I'm going to get shredded in the comment section because all three of these fan bases are extremely passionate about their young defensemen. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres. I like his overall game more than both Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar. He was a #1 overall pick for a reason, and I think he has the potential to be the league's best defender one day. And if I had to guess, will probably win a Norris Trophy or two throughout his NHL career. And then on the bench, I'm going to give that spot to Cale Makar. Now, I will say this, I think Quinn Hughes probably deserves the Calder Trophy over Cale Makar this season, but if I had to pick one of the two, who do I prefer? I'm giving the very slight edge to Cale Makar. Don't rip me up in the comments section, Canucks fans. I love Quinn Hughes, and it's pretty crazy to say that I would cut him for this, but like I said multiple times throughout the video, with this type of video, you kind of have to snub somebody, and all three of these guys are studs and are going to go on and have very long and fruitful NHL careers. That is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I had a lot of fun making this, and thank you so much to everybody who left a comment suggesting a question for the video. I wish I could feature them all, but I'm definitely going to do more videos like this in the future where you guys can get involved, because there really isn't much to talk about right now with the NHL season being on pause. If you have any video suggestions, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm always open to hearing new ideas. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to go down there and drop a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. And if you are new and you want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.